Performing during the surgery a Deuk Laser Disc Repair, 3 levels, L344551. Our patient had a fusion done in the past, and I did not do it. Someone else did it. And that fusion was above at the, it stops at basically the L3. And now he has horrible discs that are causing horrible pain for him in his back and right leg, so we're going to treat that today. Sir, can you hear me? Dr. Deuk here. I'm sorry for the delay in getting your surgery done, but that first case took us a long time. And the good news is I don't have one of those little sand hourglasses. As soon as it runs out of sand, I have to stop and I leave you alone. I actually get the job finished, okay? So we're going to get you taken care of today. Now, if you feel some pain, I want you to say ouch. Just say ouch and either say back or leg. If the pain's in your back, say ouch back. If it's in your leg, say ouch leg. Now my anesthesiologist, Dr. Rafferty, she's going to be listening. And you just tell her and she'll convey it to me. All right. I'm going to give you a little numbing medicine, okay? So you'll feel a little stick and a burn, and that's just the numbing medicine going in. It's normal. All right, so we're doing a little subcutaneous lidocaine, marcaine, maybe some epinephrine. Right, Luis? All right, 7 mils injected. No, thank you. All right. So let's hope and pray for uneventful procedure. Shot? Let's go lateral. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to access the bad discs on the right side of the spine, in the back of the spine. These are posterior herniations at L34, L45, L5S1. And by the way, this patient has really degenerated discs as well. So we need to get in there. Can you line up that L5S1 a little better for me there, please, Monica? Now you can see he's got vacuum space phenomena at 3, 4, 4, 5. And that's good. And there's actually screws. Look at those screws there. Those are cannulated screws, meaning, what's the problem? Okay. Does there need to be a tightening of something? All right, let's get the technician out to work on that. What does that control? I wouldn't use it anymore. I would just release it and leave it open, and we'll do the best we can. What?
Just don't bump it.
But I mean, I don't want to. As long as it works, as long as it's just sliding off, but it works. I just don't want to strip it. All right, good. Then just let's keep going. Sorry about that, but what I was saying, sir, are you okay? All right. What I was saying is our patient has back pain and right leg pain, numbness, tingling. He has a radiculopathy on the right side. So how long have you had your back pain for? How many years? 5 years, okay? So here he is at Duke's Spine trying to get it fixed. And I don't blame him. Shot? We know how miserable life can be with back pain. Shot? And of course it goes down the right leg. A lot of scar tissue I can feel. Shot? Looking pretty good. I have a feeling we're going to need to go a little more lateral, which is fine. May not be able to. Just go deeper and steeper. Shot? Blood pressure is good? Doctor? Shot? You're doing great, sir. Hang in there. What is that? On the BP?
It was high at first.
Shot?
I just gave him some more.
Okay.
I'll give him some more. Just check it.
Shot. I think we're too medial. Shot. This 5-1 is always the hardest. Shot. Let's get AP. I may need to start a little further north. Just do a quick AP. So step 1 here is to gain access to the disc space through a spinal needle. And that's, once again, as I said earlier, we want to get to the back of the disc on the side. Okay, yeah, so I'm too medial. I think I'm going to need to go a little bit further north. Shot. And lateral. Everything's good. We're just getting to where we need to be to do the surgery, okay? Uh-huh. Interesting. I think you need to lower the fluoro. Uh-huh.
Can you grab me some more hydralazine, please?
Shot. Yeah. I would say for sure we need a little more hydralazine. Shot. Monica, is there any way you can give me a better view of that level? Shot. This is interesting because he is not a big guy. Like, I don't know. He's not a heavy guy. Yeah, I think your orbit is bad. Let me know when you're ready. Yeah. I think that's better. No, I think you're fine. Shot. And he's being a really good patient for me. I know it's uncomfortable, Sean. But what? No. Sir, are you okay? Is that it? Right there? That's it? AP? Sorry. I don't mean to ignore you, but this is the hardest part of the whole surgery. So you knew this patient from California. That's funny. Lateral, perfect. Ontol. Ontol, oh. But you know, I talked to him because he said that he's from, well, he said that he was in Santa Barbara for a little bit. Oh, not Ojai. Santa Maria? Sean? I'm from Camarillo, Thousand Oaks. I'm right there, Canal Valley. Yeah, a little bit, maybe a little due east. Ah. So are you friends with him? Are you okay, sir? Did you know one of our nurses knows you from California? Are you having any back pain? No? Ma'am, I need your help. I can't hear anything that he's saying. This is where I need his feedback. All right. Shot. Should be good. Yes, good to go. All right, I need you to focus on 4-5. So the story of our patient today is that he is a older gentleman. Yes. And he's had a fusion. And you can see the fusion on the x-rays. You can see the screws and rods. The fusion was done above the area that we're working on today. And the fusion left 3 discs at the bottom of the fusion, number 344551. And that's what we're focused on fixing today. So he has horrible debilitating pain coming from his lower back, below the fusion. And if you look at his x-rays, and you could see why. John, did you show our viewers the MRI?
No, I did not have that.
No problem. So, yeah, his this patient's x-rays tell a lot of the story. You can see how bad the discs are. Let's try to get those pedicles lined up a little better at 4. You see them? It's not horrible. I'd like to make it a little better. This is going to be a hard one for me to get to, but we will. Shot. I think that's better. Yeah. My God. I must be ambitious here. You okay? He's doing great. He's such a good patient. There's just a lot of osteophyte here, a lot of bone spur. Let's go AP. So far we've lost, say, a drop of blood, maybe 2 at most. So really nothing. Once again, I'm trying to get to the L45. You can see how badly damaged it is. There's just a big white area. You can see we're knocking right there. So we're close. All right, back to a lateral. But these discs are severely collapsed, so we call that degenerated. On a scale of 1 to 10, this L45 disc I'm about to get into is quite literally a 10. There's nothing worse. It's so degenerated. But why are we able to fix him? Because the truth is that no matter how degenerated these discs are, they're still amenable to being repaired with the laser. So, how's blood pressure? Yeah, it's talking to me right now. We like our blood pressure to be usually around 100 to 110 systolic, depends on the patient. So we were looking good on the lateral view, but we were not looking great on the AP view for a reason. We were too far medial. Shot? 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 And I should say that he's really helping me. Shot? By being so still. Shot? Shot? I need a, I feel like that's the facet. AP? Let me know before you take a shot. So getting into the disc from on a patient with, that's good, with lateral, always go back to a lateral after you give me the AP. Getting into the disc on a patient with severe degenerated disc, it's not just that the disc is collapsed down and there's not much space to get in. Look at the bone spurs that are growing off to the side there. They're massive. Again. So it's really more than just a problem of the disc being collapsed. Shot. It's truly a problem of the bone spurs that are growing off the side of the spine as well. Shot. Where do you feel that?
I do feel that, Edward.
Huh? Shot.
Where do you feel that?
Anywhere?
Feel something in your back or in your leg or anywhere? He doesn't feel anything anywhere.
Okay. Well. Shot. I'm right there. And it looks like I could be on his facet. Well, it's hard to say, because what we're seeing on a lateral view could be the other side. Shot. We're awfully close, for sure. Let's get an AP. I don't know if I'm hitting the facet, which is, he's got very short pedicles, by the way, or if I'm hitting the osteophyte growing off the back of the disc. It looks like I'm at the osteophyte behind the disc. So let's go back to a lateral view. Any questions from our audience so far, Shot?
No, no questions at this time.
Okay. Well, we're pretty close, but not close enough. Are you okay? Shot? Yeah. Not close enough to do a discogram, that's for sure. Not here. Not at this level. Any pain? Shot?
He said no.
All right. Very good. Well, that's definitely may be able to get it when he's asleep. That'd be unfortunate, but Shot. Again. I'm gonna try to change my trajectory a little bit. Shot. Shot. Definitely in the right area, very close to being where we need to be. Shot. I feel I'm just a little bit lower than I want to be. Trying to make an adjustment to get higher. Shot. You have to come in. Shot. At a different angle. Shot. Just shot. That's a little bit better. Again, the problem here is there's so much bone spurs. And they're not hitting the nerves so per se, but they're blocking me from getting in. Shot. And I wonder, if I come from a little bit higher up. How's he doing, Shot? Is he doing all right? Shot? Yeah. I know. I'm sorry, Shot. You're doing fine. I know it's a bit uncomfortable, and I apologize. Shot? 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 It's amazing how much arthritis there is over here. It must be related to the facet joints. Shot. Mm-hmm. Shot. Shot. It's definitely the right trajectory. It's just tough getting around them. Shot. It's quite amazing. Shot. Let's get an AP. I may have to come a little bit further from the side. You're doing fine. Everything's okay. I'm sorry. It's just taking a little while because of the arthritis. But I'm not giving up. Yeah. Uh-huh. All right, well, we're in the vicinity. Back to a lateral. Seems like we're a little off there on the AP because of some scoliosis. Let me know when you're ready. Okay? Sorry, we had a little technical issue. What's the problem, guys?
I think that's the HDMI cable right here. Yep. Not here, but you can switch the
Shot.
switch the ball. It's right there. Yeah.
Do we need Sunny in here? Shot. You're not an IT professional. What do you mean you're not an I thought you were, Shot.
There's a little box behind that.
Shot.
Disconnect it and then let's try to switch that. If not, that's possible.
Well, yeah, we need to get Sunny. Shot. Why would we not be getting Sunny? Shot. Well, it's Sunny's fault, right? Shot. 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 Are you okay?
Okay yet?
He's fine. AP. What's amazing is he's such a thin guy and the spine is really anterior. You know, these angles I'm going in at are very anterior for an anterior spine. Mm. Okay. That's good. I mean, where's my lateral view? There. So I'm too posterior. I mean, I need to come more lateral. Gosh. And just feel bone everywhere here. Shot. There's just so much bone from his fusion. Shot. 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 Got the right trajectory. I just can't get around this bone spurs. You okay there? Shot. 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 Are you feeling anything?
Are you feeling anything yet? No.
Shot. Right there. Let's get an AP.
I don't have any questions, but I was able to find his MRI. Would you like me to pull it up so you could talk to the viewers about it?
Sure, if you want to show it to them.
All right, I'll go ahead and pull that
Yeah.
up shortly.
Yeah, that's actually looking the best we've looked. It's still full of bone spurs, though. Huh? Let's go lateral. So I think I might be able to get in there when he's asleep. We're so close. Once he's relaxed, you know, I may be able to get my dilator in and get it done. Sure gonna try. Hold on. This is not just scar tissue, otherwise it'd pass. Shot. It's incredible, huh? Shot. It's a little better.
All right, I've pulled up an axial and a sagittal view and put arrows pointing to the different herniations.
Uh-huh. Thank you. That's really good. Well, talk them through it. Yeah, there's no patient information on that MRI, right?
No, I made sure to make that. I made sure it was not included, so it's just the images.
It's always rule number 101. Don't share patient identifiable information. Okay, so go ahead and you can take them through a little bit if you'd like.
Yeah. So looking at the axial there, or the top-down view, there is the arrow on the left side of the image, which is the right side of the patient's body, just
All right,
how
AP.
it's viewed. And
We're right at the back of this disc.
that circle is a little bit broad-based, and you can sort of see it pushing where the arrow is pointing. And then looking at the sagittal or the side view, you can sort of see where the discs are bulging out into the white, and that is where it's causing the stenosis.
Okay. I think we could probably get that with the patient asleep. I just won't be able to do a discogram. Thank you for sharing, John. Any questions on the MRI review we just did on this patient? You can see how collapsed the discs are. Sir, you doing all right?
There are no questions yet.
All right. So let's get up to the next disc. So unfortunately, sometimes it happens where I can't access. However, we do get to it in the operation. So we will certainly try that. Right now, we're going to focus on getting into the next disc, which is the L34. It's the last one we're doing today. Yeah, shot. So this one's going to be, shot. Right? Looks like the I-10, shot. Hopefully it won't be too difficult for us. Are you okay? Well, we got... I still feel good about getting that other one, but You know, it's going to take some work, shot, but you're going to have to be asleep for it. Let's get an AP. I'm right there at the back of the disc at 034. And this is obviously not as degenerated as the 4.5 is. Yeah, it's pretty much perfect. Let's go lateral. So I'm going to enter this one and we'll be done with the beginning of the surgery. And we're going to be able to put our patient to sleep. Shot. Mm-hmm. Are you comfy? Yeah? All right. What are your goals for this surgery? What do you say? To live without pain. Is that what he said?
And ride his bike.
Ride your bike? What kind of bike you have?
What kind of time? I'm not quite sure what that is.
Is that a motorcycle? All right, so we have the L34. We have the L45 disc. We're not going to be able to test, and the L5S1 because we don't have a needle actually in there. Are you comfy? Have you watched any of these surgeries?
Have you watched them on the videos? Have you watched the videos?
Have you watched any of these my surgeries on video?
You said no.
Okay. How bad is that on a scale of 1 to 10? Take a shot. 10 being the worst pain of your life. How bad is that? Give me a number. How high did it go?
About
10? 10? All right. And is that where you typically get your back pain, in that area?
Is that where you get your pain at? Yes.
All right. So we found one of your bad discs. When you wake up, that pain will be gone. You won't have it anymore. For the rest of your life, that pain in that area. We're going to fix it for you. You comfy? Yes? Is he comfy? Ah, that went right through. Shot. How much pain did you have there? How high did it go?
What number?
Huh? He's got blue blood.
Probably what? Probably a 10.
So 10 out of 10 at 3.4 and 5.1. I cannot test the 4.5. So we're ready to put this gentleman to sleep. When you wake up, we'll be done with surgery, okay? So go ahead and count from 1 to 100 out loud. All right, so good. So folks, and for the patient's benefit, you can see he had a surgery before. I can see a scar. It goes from here all the way up to here. This was his fusion from there to there. That's a big incision. It's as long as the pin. And now we're going to make just 2 tiny little incisions on it. Well, basically 1 incision on his back. I could do it all through one, but I'm going to connect these 2 areas. We're going to start with the L5S1, and then I'm going to try to do the L45. That's the one I couldn't get the needle into the disc, but I got it right up against it, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get in there. Point is, we know these discs that we tested, the 2, are causing his pain that he typically gets. He called it a 10 out of 10 at both of them, and he said it was concordant, meaning that's his typical pain. So we know we're in the right spot for his pain, and I feel really confident once we fix these 2 or 3 discs, that the pain will be gone and he won't have any more of that back pain anymore. Also, it's his right leg bothering him. The only thing I'm worried about is that one disc that is really hard to get into. So I'm going to start with 5-1, which normally is the hardest, but because the 4-5 is so collapsed and so much bone spur, it's really presented itself as a huge challenge. The usual. Yeah. So right now we're going to go for 5-1. You can see there's a herniation and a bulge there with a tear. And that's really what we're targeting, is that tear just in front of the dilator. Shot. You can actually feel it passing into the disc pretty easily. There's a big tear there. Huge tear. Pull that out. Thank you. Shot. I mean, that thing went in so easy. Like, I barely even had to hit it. So we know, oh, thank you. We know that that's a big tear. And it's called an annular tear. And this is really what we treat at Duke Spine. There's no other surgeon in the world that does debridement of the annular tear. We're the first to describe it and publish it in the National Library of Medicine. And we're the first to do the surgery, and we're the only ones still doing it in 2021 that I know of. There's endoscopic surgeons, but they do just discectomy. No. The discectomy obviously is not shot. Is not what this patient only needs. They need more than a discectomy shot. That looks pretty good, right? Luis, wouldn't you agree? Shot? Yes, that's very good. All right, let's get the flow out. So we're going to start with the bottom disc, L5S1. We're going to repair the tear, do a debridement, get rid of the herniated nucleus pulposus. And I expect that to fix his back pain and leg pain permanently the rest of his life. It's gone. This is not a pain management treatment. This is a fix. It's a cure. We cure these people's pain from the discs. Now, we're not treating the facet joints. We're just fixing the tear in the disc and treating the disc pain and the nerve symptoms. Okay, let's go ahead and get the scope in. So when we get in there, we're going to see blue, and the blue is the stained jelly or nuclear material. Anything blue is degenerated, and that's typically what we're going to see, a degenerated nucleus pulposus right there. Grab her. And the reason it's degenerated is that it's been acted on by this patient's inflammatory system. The inflammatory system has been attacking it for how many years has he had pain? 5 or 7? 5 years? Yeah. So for at least 5 years he's had these issues with the disc, and the inflammation from these herniations that they've caused within the annular tear is the source of his pain and the source of the degenerated disc. Take laser. Okay, laser on, 30. Where's the pedal? Yeah, I like it generally right here. I don't like the suction tube there. Can you move that, please? Okay. Thank you. So this is the tear. That's herniation. This is our last surgery for the day. We did a very big surgery earlier. I've already checked on our fusion patient. He's doing very well. He's comfortable recovering. We're going to have him up in a chair very soon, and then we're going to go ahead and discharge him home probably in about an hour. But his pain is well controlled with oral pain medication. We use 4 milligrams of Dilaudid usually. I always make sure the patients are still on their regular narcotic pain meds that they come to us with. Unfortunately, a lot of people have been put on narcotics by their doctors, trying to cover up the pain, not really fixing it, obviously. But there's a tear, by the way, and these people come in with, you know, on chronic narcotics, opioids, so they end up having what's called tolerance. So you can't give them a normal dose like you could somebody who doesn't take narcotics normally. You got to give them a higher dose, because that normal dose just doesn't do the job, because they've downregulated the opioid receptors on their cell surface, the surface of the cells that need the opioids in order to reduce pain, the pain response. So I want to say the opioid receptors, aren't they postsynaptic? I can't remember. I think they're postsynaptic, right? So they regulate the what's basically the effect of neurotransmitters. They downregulate neurotransmitter effect for pain cells. So if you have the right number and you get some opioid in your body, then you won't feel pain very much, because you're basically the dendritic potentials are reduced, I think, when the opioid receptors are bound. They get less of a postsynaptic depolarization of the dendritic membrane. I love neurophysiology. I had an amazing pharmacologist in medical school, Dr. Berman. I believe he's dead now. I don't know for sure, but he was at USC in Los Angeles. He taught pharmacology for, I want to say, about 50 years. The guy was a genius. He was just so passionate about pharmacology, and he made it so much easier to understand for the medical students, because it's a first-year class. And when you go to medical school, you're just so overwhelmed with all the courses and information you have to learn so quickly in such a small amount of time. That's why they select for the brightest, for the people with the best grades, because the ones with the best grades are the ones that study. And you can't make it through med school without studying. Period. If you do, you're not going to help your patients, that's for sure. Your patients need their doctors to be knowledgeable so that they can make the right choices for them. Unfortunately, there are some people that just goof off in med school. I was not one of them. But Dr. Berman, pharmacologist, USC, University of Southern California, amazing doctor, amazing teacher. The way he presented the material, he just simplified everything. He didn't have a lot of words. It was just very simple concepts. Put it down on paper, study guide. Because there's so much to learn, you know. Neurotransmitters and receptors and how all these drugs work. Mechanism of action. Yeah, having a chemistry background is essential, in my opinion, for medical school. Yeah. I mean, a lot of they were, you know, when I was in med school, it was back in the 94, 95, 6, 7, 94 to 97. That was back when med schools were in California, they were trying to accept more graduates who were in like the liberal sciences, like English and literature, and holy God, those people struggled in med school. I mean, yeah, it's a great idea to have a diverse group of doctors from an educational undergraduate background, but they didn't take biochemistry, and they just got destroyed. One class destroyed them. I didn't have to study biochemistry because I was a biochemistry major. That was why I graduated with a degree in biochemistry and chemistry, so I didn't study biochem, ever. But even without studying biochem, I literally studied every single second of the day until midnight every night, then up again at 6:30 in the morning to go to class, and literally would study on the way to class, as I'm walking to class, study in my car as I'm driving to San Diego, I mean, I would study any moment, free moment I had. Even working out in the gym, I studied in between my sets. I was a study crazy guy, but you had to be to absorb all the information you need to learn. And that's with being a biochemistry major. I felt, I mean, the people who are like English majors and history majors and they're in med school, they were like, what the fuck is this biochemistry stuff? I mean, they purposefully went into history to avoid biochemistry, you know what I mean? And here they are in med school and it's just rocking their world. Because biochemistry is such a complicated science, and it's not something you can learn in 1 year, all the biochemistry, you know? It's yeah. Yeah, to truly understand biochemistry, you have to have really strong foundation and, like you said, inorganic chemistry and organic chemistry, and those take years and years and years. And yeah, these people are supposed to have the prerequisites to graduate, you know, but they just don't understand the biochemistry, and they just literally lambs for the slaughter. They would barely pass their classes. So they would spend so much time studying biochemistry to try to pass that they would neglect anatomy, histology, pharmacology, you know, so they would barely get B's or C's in those classes because they had to devote so much time studying biochemistry. So I was very fortunate that I had that background and I could focus on anatomy and histology, microbiology, all the other stuff, because those are hard enough as it is. All right, we're dealing with a tear, and this tear, honestly, I need a chair. It looks the same. You guys have a rolly chair for me? This tear looks the same to me as any other tear in any other disc, right? In other words, you can't tell that that's good. This is an older person disc because it just looks like a degenerated disc to me. Yes, I'm sitting down. Believe it or not, surgeons do that sometimes. I'm pretty whipped after that fusion earlier. Huh, Luis? That was a tough one. I'm not used to that. It reminds me in college, I met this really cute girl. Her name was Lisa. And she was a runner. And I was a young buck back then at UC San Diego. And she was in my dorm. And she always went running. And then one day she came up to me and said, "You want to go running?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm thinking, you know, I was a runner, cross country, and soccer player. I was like a stud athlete, you know. Emphasis on past tense, and so I said, "So where are we gonna run? You know, like a mile, 2 miles? You know?" I'm thinking, no big deal. I can handle this. She goes, "Oh, we're gonna go down to Torrey Pines and then go down to the beach." I'm like, "The beach? There is no beach there. Like, that's far. The beach. Are we talking about the same beach?" And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "How many miles is that?" "I think it's around 15 miles. I'm like, 15 miles? Is that too far? No, I'm good. And I stuck it out. But let me tell you, at the end, I was so tired, I got sick. Like, literally, like I was in bed for 3 days, and not in a good way. I was like just devastated. I think my immune system just wreaked havoc on me. So I've never gotten sick from exercising too much, but that was the first time. I got my butt kicked. "You're fine." I think he's responding a little bit. You may want to give him a little bit more. "Everything's going good." So, you know, the quiet patients, they don't make much noise, so you don't know if they're waking up from the anesthesia. And, our goal is to keep the patients as comfortable as possible, obviously, but at the same time, the more sleepy we make them, the higher risk of them stopping breathing, and we don't want that. So a lot of times the way we figure out they're waking up is when they start to move, but if the patient's not much of a mover to begin with, then you don't really know they're waking up. So it's kind of hard to tell, but he's definitely starting to come around a little bit. So we're going to put him back down and let him sleep through the rest of this. Once again, this one's going really good. So do we send that other scope off, Luis?
I call and
Yeah.
probably tomorrow I send it to them. That takes 2 days.
But they can fix it.
Yeah. Oh, they fix it.
Yeah, I'll never forget. Lisa just kicked my butt. He's responding a little bit. Thank you, Luis. We're just about done here. This is the tear, by the way. All this stuff is scar tissue, inflammation. Not good. All that inflammation and blue stuff is stuck in there. That's the tear. You see that? There at 12 o'clock? That's what we're here to clean up. When we clean this thing up, it takes the back pain away. Like when I see, what I mean by clean up, I mean, we call it debridement. But that's what we're doing. See the blue stuff stuck in there? It shouldn't be there. It's all scarred up in there from inflammation. So that's what's causing the inflammation. It's like a foreign body, basically. All this is the tear right here. This is not normal. Everything okay, guys? What's going on over there? Huh? All right. Didn't know if everything's okay. Well, we're almost done with the first one, so probably another couple of minutes. You can see at 12 o'clock is the epidural space, little vein right there. Try not to bag the vein. We call it bagging when you damage it or destroy it. I didn't come up with the terminology, so don't hold it against me, right, Luis?
Yeah. My only request is to that.
Do it last.
2, 3, 4, yeah.
So do 3, 4 next. Okay.
Yeah, please. Do it.
Luis, for you, I would do it.
Thank you very much.
I would do it for you, Luis. Okay, I gotta stand up because I gotta start leveraging this a little bit. Just slipping in under that vein. I have a feeling I'm gonna end up maybe having to take it. I'm not gonna let that vein keep me from doing my job. So if he's gonna give me grief, I'm just gonna take him. Sacrifice it. Right, Monica? Because what it's doing is in vain. Thank you. My kids think I'm very cheesy. I don't know why. John, we have a question?
No, not yet.
Let's see the grabber. Stand by. Oh, wait. It's just not in focus as good as it could be. It could do a little better. There we go. Tell me. Yeah, he never should have been gone anyway. Right?
Well, we can, if we need incentive or something, they probably allow him to.
Yeah, if you're going to go to jury duty and you got to be at work, you just go in and say, let him burn! Exactly. So, it's a traffic violation. So, Judge, do we get to watch the electrocution? Sir, get the hell out of here and go back to your job. A little bit of fat there. That's pretty cool. Yeah, the reason this is taking a little while is this stuff is so scarred in. I mean, at first I thought, all right, you know, not bad. But now that I've gotten closer to the source of the blood supply, which is the outer annulus, you see just how scarred up it can actually be. I just obliterated that fat cell. It's like poking his head out in the frame and going, what's going on out there? Right, Luis? We take no prisoners. This is like the never-ending herniation here. John, any questions from our audience today?
No, not yet.
All right. Well, we're almost done. Right? They're all having dinner watching what? Jeopardy? That's fine. Did you say watching Jeopardy? Oh. Thanks. You know, this vein is awfully close. I'm afraid I'm going to have to get him. He's feeling a little bit. Dr. Raffer, do you have allergies or something? Poor thing. Where did you live before you were in Florida? Yeah? Philadelphia. Uh-huh. Northern Maine. I was just in Maine. I was just in Maine. Yeah. Bar Harbor? That's all I remember. Acadia National Park. Laser standby. Oh yeah? So what's there? No. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, you're twisting it. Straight off. There you go. This should be my last pass on this disc. I'm sorry? Save the what? Oh, yeah. The vein's up there, hidden. I put it behind the protection of the tube, so I can't get to it. Yeah, we really liked Maine quite a bit, actually. That was our trip this summer, is to go to Maine. Go check it out. No, we'll have to come back for whale watching another time. We didn't really do that much. We did some biking. I like biking. Trying to stay fit. We biked around Bar Harbor and Acadia National Forest. Mm-hmm. My God, we did some hiking. It was insane. I've never been so tired in my life. I was telling my wife earlier, I said, you know how that time we hiked in Maine up that hill? That's how I feel right now after the surgery. That fusion surgery. Are you tired, Elise, after that thing? Yeah?
We have to.
But you're like so fit. You're like,
Something other
it's been a while? All right. That's it. Laser off.
Stand by, buddy.
Thank God.
Please.
And we're going to go to 3-4 next. Scope off. God damn it. Yeah. Yep. My wife liked Maine quite a bit. She didn't want to leave. Matter of fact, I didn't want to leave either. It was so pretty. All right, we are doing a Deuk Laser Disc Repair on a patient who has had a fusion already elsewhere. I didn't do it. And below his fusion, he's now has 3 discs that are degenerated and herniated, causing pain. Yeah, that's good. Just throw it down there. Go ahead, rock in. Get in there. Hold pressure. That's good. Come on, come on. We don't do AP. It's always lateral, like I said to you. Okay. Shot. Relax. Shot. Shot. Okay, good. Guide wire stayed in. And we're gonna, Luis, you need a little pressure here when I'm not on. Release. And pressure again. Shot. Perfect. Pressure. All right, let's see what we got here. Shot. All right, so shot. All right. Shot. You still have to direct the dilator a bit. Shot. 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 Take it. Relax. Take it. Shot. Nice. Shot. Come on down and meet your maker. So we're probably going to lose about 5 or 10 mils of blood. A little more than normal. Was he on anti-inflammatory? But it's still very minimal. When did he stop aspirin? 2 weeks, so it still has an effect. It's minor, but shot. We're good though. We're not losing much blood at all. Shot. You can always tell people who take aspirin because their blood is thin. Shot. Yeah, so that dilator is advancing. We need to bring it back a little bit. Shot. That is right? There's not much in there. Some scar tissue and air. Shot. Yeah, that's good. Air and scar tissue. Don't ask me how air gets into the disc space, but they call it a vacuum space phenomena. Vacuum space phenomena. Frankly, I don't know how people get air in there. But I put needles into a disc with air, and you actually hear a hissing sound because it's sucking air. It's really not air. Hey, can you help me out here? I don't understand how you keep getting the suction tube. That's not what you have to do. You don't see the answer? You put it behind the pedal. Why would you not do that? That's how you keep it behind the pedal. Yeah, like this. There we go. All right, we're good. So these vacuum discs really do have negative pressure. Huh? It is, because the die was like stuck in there. Did you see that? There's literally no disc here. So it's not going to be a matter of taking disc out here. We got to get to the tear. But yeah, the die is just leaking out. Now, do we have irrigation on full? We're good? All right, thank you. Should clear out pretty quick. Uh-huh. Any questions, John, from our audience?
Yes, one YouTube viewer is wondering how long ago the fusion was done.
That's a great question. So one of our viewers asked, how long ago was that fusion done? I don't actually have the answer. Oh, 2004. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm getting information for you. He fell how far? There's no way he fell 400 feet. 400 feet. All right, but how do you fall 400 feet? I don't know anything that's 400 feet. Like a building? All right, we don't know the exact details. And what year was that? In 2004. It sounds like he had a real bad fall. Fractured his spine. Oh, yeah. They missed it at the hospital. They sent the patient home. He was in horrible pain. And then he kept coming back saying there's something wrong. They said, no, there's not. And then finally somebody figured out he had a fracture. So they missed the fracture at the hospital. So it was a burst fracture, which is an unstable fracture. So his fusion was for a fracture, not for a bad disc. And the fracture was from a really bad fall. Sounds like it was about 17 years ago, right? So if yet it was a work injury, yeah. So if yet, this is the tear, by the way. This is where his pain's coming from, at this disc in particular. So if you ask me, I would say he probably fractured L2, but he also damaged the discs here at L3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 1, which is really, that's what we're fixing today. So the fracture got fixed years ago because that's, obviously it's a fracture, needs to be fixed, but the discs pretty much were left alone, and 5 years ago they started getting bad, and that's when he started trying to get some help, and then found us here at Deuk Spine, and here we are repairing those discs today. Sounds like these things were probably injured though about 17 years ago when he fell. How many this fiber, do you keep track?
Laser fiber? Yeah, right now we have 12.
No, but the number.
Oh yeah, I stopped at the 26. Around 26 surgeries.
26 surgeries?
Around 26, I will change it or switch.
Do you say 2 or 6?
2, 6.
That's too many. I would say 10 max.
Well, I have the laser scope.
Oh, you do?
Laser fiber scope, and then if it's fine, I continue.
I don't know if it's all the scar tissue here, but this one is like, there's a piece of herniation right there. Why am I getting, huh? No, we're all right. I'm just trying to figure out why we have bubbles, so many bubbles. It's good? All right. There's just some bubbles. It's not a big deal. Take that. Pull back a little. So it's got a work-related injury? Huh?
This is what I know for the L2 burst fracture and then this is Alex fracture.
Wow. Well, there you have it, John. That's the history that I've got here in terms of the injury, the original injury that necessitated a fracture. Let me have the grabber. Okay. It's there. Thank you, Monica. All right, just about done on this one.
We also have another viewer asking, how did fusion affect this surgery?
How did the patient's fusion affect this surgery?
Yes.
Yeah, it made it harder, to be honest with you. Because when you do a fusion, you have to fillet the back open, and whenever you do that, you're always going to generate a lot of scar tissue for the patient, like literally a ton of scar tissue back here. And then, of course, fusion, you're trying to get the bones to grow together. And so what happens is you're getting bone growth happening back where I'm trying to pass the needle through. So that posterior fusion back there, that's definitely going to affect my my surgery, because I'm trying to pass through that area with the needle, and I can't because there's all that new bone down there that normally isn't there. So fusions definitely make it harder. They don't make it easier to do laser surgery, but they make it harder because of the scar tissue and the standby and the bone growth. It's a little piece of herniation I just freed up and want to try to pull it out. That's a good one. Yeah, definitely a good one. There's maybe even another one there. This is L34. We've already finished 5-1. Yeah. I need a laser. Laser. Stand by. Just about done. That has to be right at the end of the tear, right there. See that pink stuff? That's granulation tissue. That's where all the pain fibers are. Just about done. Well, we got rid of the herniation. That's for sure. All right, stand by. Nope. That looks pretty good. Let me see if I can grab out anything else. I think it fell out. That's it. That looks good.
Lights on, please. Scope up, please. Scope.
All right, is he pretty deep? Still, scope off? Maybe a little bit, because I'm going to try to get in here. I'm going to need you to line me up on 4-5 when you get a chance. Not an AP, but a lateral. What's the problem? So you can see from that last lateral view that the screws are in the pedicle of L3.
1 second, Monica.
1 second, Monica. All right, line her up, Monica. Further south. How's he doing? Too far south. That looks pretty darn good right there. Let's lock it in. All right. Everyone go to church this weekend? Synagogue? Temple? Whatever it is you do. All right. Huh. Figure of speech. Relax. All right. Let's just hope I can keep this thing there. Shot. Yeah. Well, it ain't gonna be pretty if we get it, but hopefully we'll do the job. Knife. Right here. Cannot see. Need to put a stitch in there. All right. You have one? Let's get one. Shot. Shot. Oh boy. Oh, the resorbable suture. Resorbable. A sub-Q. Right? Shit. Sub-Q. Shot. 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 I don't know how we're doing it. Somehow. Some way. I can't even hit this right because it's got the right. You see it? Shot. I know. I'm gonna get right on in. He's deep. We're almost there. Shot. Let's get an AP. This is what you call MacGyvering it, right? Isn't that the old MacGyver show? You gotta improvise. What do you got? One or two? A single, double? That's perfect. Go back to a lateral. Yeah. You got it? Oh, you got it. You know how? You able to? What? Of course I want to speak to the fusion before you leave. Tell him yes, I want to see him before he goes bye-bye. Ugh. Pull it up. Shot. Oh, hot diggity dog. That ain't opening up. There's no way. Shot. 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 That ain't happening. Nope. Get it. All right. Well, could not do 4-5 because of anatomical restrictions from. You good? All right. Good job, everybody. Nice work.
It was a pleasure. It's been a while.
No, really. It's pleasure was mine. I'm gonna call her EBL 10 mil. I'll come answer any questions, so please type them up.
The pain level got to about an 8, a 9.
The right side of my body from the waist down was pretty much useless and in pain constantly.
The pain was chronic.
It was an aching, stabbing.
It became unbearable. It became where I didn't want to get out of it.
Okay, Dr. Deuk Majan here. We have just finished a Deuk Laser Disc Repair intended to be done at L344551, and just so you understand what that is, that's the bottom 3 discs in the back. This patient had back pain here inside their spine, and the reason they did was they had 3 herniated discs. Those were causing the back pain and right leg pain. Now this patient had a fusion done with the screws and rods but a little higher up, and he had fallen apparently at work. When he fell, he probably landed and collapsed or crushed his spine. We know that because he fractured his bone up here, up at this area called the vertebral body, had a burst fracture, and he had a fusion with screws and rods. But then below that fracture, these last 3 discs, they were damaged, but nobody ever did anything about them, and he just had pain for about the last 5 or 7 years. I went in there today and confirmed the pain on these 2. I tried to get into this one, but it's so collapsed that the hole is not even open. I couldn't get in even with a skinny little needle. So I was not able to get in there. I told the family member already. Long story short, I think he's going to do fantastic because the 2 discs we fixed are definitely causing bad pain for him. We tested them. So let's see how he does tomorrow. All right, our first question is, if somebody has a high hemoglobin, do they bleed more? The answer is no. You don't bleed more with a high hemoglobin. Typically in surgery of spine, what causes a lot of bleeding is, number one, you know, if somebody is on blood thinners, anything that thins the blood. Okay, you got your antiplatelet agents, you've got your anticoagulation agents, and, you know, everything that affects bleeding and makes people bleed more usually affects coagulation or platelet function. So things like anti-inflammatories affect the platelets. They make the platelets not work. That's platelet plug is the first step in stopping bleeding. So you got your anti-inflammatories, you got your anticoagulants and antiplatelets, and then you got your fish oil, ginkgo biloba, turmeric, herbals, and they also affect platelet function and coagulation. So that's one thing that will make people bleed if they're on anti-inflammatories or herbals before surgery. You need to get off those about a week before. Another thing that makes people bleed is high blood pressure during surgery. So you imagine if you turn up a hose and open it more and get more pressure behind it, it's going to pour out more water faster. So when blood pressure goes up, the blood vessels, you know, bleed faster. And then there's just poor surgical technique. If you start digging around in the muscle, you're going to get a lot of bleeding. If you get into the epidural veins, you're going to get bleeding. You get into the bone, you're going to get bleeding. So notice how if you watch my fusion, I actually had different strategies to deal with bleeding from different things. So diploic bone bleeding is gel foam and thrombin. If you can't use bone wax is real good too, but it'll stop fusion from happening in that area. Then you got muscle bleeding, which needs bipolar or a bovie. And then you have bleeding from the epidural veins, which is gel foam thrombin or bipolar. So just depending on where the bleeding is coming from, skin, just below the skin, you're going to have bipolar or an injection with epinephrine that stops the bleeding. It just depends on the source. So surgeons that are sloppy and careless about bleeding, you know, generally they end up having their patients bleed more. So it's really about hemostasis, surgical technique, and the preoperative management of the patient to reduce the antiplatelet and anticoagulation effects of different compounds. Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
I'm pretty whipped, so I'll keep it short and get out of here. Hope you enjoyed watching the surgery. It's been a pleasure. I think the patient will do fantastic. He'll be out of here in an hour, go home. It's a pretty quick recovery. He's already out of the operating room. So, and our first patient for the day, if you watched the first one, was a 5-level fusion with reconstruction and osteotomies. That patient is actually already just leaving now with the transport. So they're heading home. He's up, standing and walking and looks normal. He doesn't even look like he had back surgery. Okay.